And then envy, hasad. The Prophet Muhammad said, envy eats good actions like fire eats firewood. Envy, there's a really interesting book called Envy Towards a Social Theory, which German philosopher, he's saying that envy is the single most destructive element in human societies. And one of the interesting things he points out is that primitive cultures are envy-based cultures, which he feels is one of the reasons because they've been unable to sublimate envy, that they're left in a primitive condition. That civilization, according to this man, is based on individuals sublimating envy. That you cannot create anything. And one of the interesting things, if you look at Steve Covey, who, I've read his book, I don't know if people, probably a lot of people have read them, 7 Habits and Principle-Centered Leadership. One of the things very clearly is what he's doing is he's taking religious principles and he's secularizing them and he's introducing them into the workspace because Japanese work together. Big egos in American corporations have a very hard time working together. So what he's trying to create is what he calls the win-win situation. In other words, you can maintain your big egos, but you have to sublimate a little bit for the greater good, which is the quarterly profits, right? And this is the type of idea of really recognizing that you can't always be competing. There are times when you kind of have to just say, no, we got to work together. So envy is a very serious problem in human societies. And I know teachers are affected by this. AP teachers, somebody was telling me the other day, right? Also teachers that get awards for being good teachers. Because there's other teachers that are suddenly saying, what's he doing that I'm not doing, right? Teachers that students want, electives. That's a really good teacher. There's real problems with that. I mean, I know a lot of you felt the brunt of that because, I have in my own life, I've seen that people get really envious of something that from the Muslim point of view is just, it's a gift. You're sharing a gift, right? It's not something, oh, look at me, how wonderful. No, if somebody has a talent, it's a gift from God. And what you do is you share it with others. And if you can see it that way, this is something God has given that person. This is a gift. And once you see that God is the giver of gifts, right, then you recognize, well, I'm happy for that person. And you have your own gifts because each person has their own areas of possibility. And envy really destroys. You can't overcome that. You can't become, because what happens with the envier is they're unable to achieve what that person who is the victim of their envy has achieved. They're unable to. It literally will prevent them from doing it. So learning first that we all have envy and we suffer from it, and how to rid ourselves, purify, and then vanity.